Okay, from this point on, the base has power and it has functionality. So we can take everything from the basic assembler and go put it into the guide containers, into the base for use over there. Because this will produce more items and run more efficiently than the rest. See, even when you just place a stone in, this basic refinery knows exactly what to do with it. We don't need to tell it to do it. It's there already. Now, we can select different cargo containers over there. Just place all your ores and ingots into there. And then switch back over here, you'll find your basic assembler. On the top you can add any ingots, in the bottom you can add any materials. We want a cargo container for all of this stuff later on, but for now it's fine just where it is. Next item up is on the G menu progression tab. Now that we've unlocked those items, we have a couple more on our list that we need to do. First of all, we need to do the battery over there. You can't grind down another battery because it will destroy the power cells in it. So we will need one, and you can queue it as well. We will be starting to build that as soon as possible to charge the base in case something goes wrong. The beacon is on the pod that we can just grind down to unlock the antennas with. The doors we don't need to worry about right now. The next item is the big refinery. Also, just after we finished up the drill ship, a day 2 item. The same with the landing gear, we will be getting that from the ship. The drill and the cockpit we will be doing on the ship itself. The O2 generator we'll be getting from the ship to unlock the vent and the oxygen tank for the starter base that we're building. We will be getting the small cargo container from there and adding a medium cargo container to the ship. And that is everything for progression. So let's quickly get started on how we're going to change around the small vessel into a drill ship with 2 drills. Step 1, make sure that your seat does not have anything in the inventory, because we are going to grind it down. And you sometimes end up grinding those items down as well. If you will have a look on your G menu, you have a... well, sorry. If you have a look in the G menu, you can unlock the light currently over there. And right here on the side by the battery, we have a light. Just tap it, so it's underneath the red line on the right. You'll notice where components, it says 1 out of 2. You go back to welding, weld it up, and you've learned the blueprint. You can remove this light completely. The same as with all the blocks on the side of the battery. I'm then also going to go ahead and remove the first row of blocks. Sorry, not the entire first row of blocks from the front, but that front middle blocks all need to go out. All of them, same as with middle front, that drops, and then there's 3 on top also gets removed. There's the landing gear we're going to grind down, weld up, grind down, weld it up, now flurned it, and grind it all the way down because we will not be using it. You can grind down the seat here as well. Now, those 2 can go, not that one, that stays. In the front, you can grind down the 2 thrusters in the front, as well as that block next to the battery, and the same block on the opposite side next to the O2 generator. Remove the light on the O2 generator as well as all these blocks on the side. We don't want extra parts sticking over on the side while trying to drill into mining shafts and while creating mining shafts and doing stuff like that. Okay, the reason we're trimming these sides down is to make the profile of the ship smaller. When digging, you don't want a really big ship underground, and we have a nice tight compartment in here for some of the other stuff we need to do. Once both sides are down, the middle is out, the thrusters are off, we can get started on the middle. Over here is the beacon that we need to grind down to halfway. Now, currently we still can't reach it, so we can just quickly grind down those 2 blocks. We will be replacing them later on. Now, this is why I like to charge from a seat, because this can take long, but it's tedious. And this is the slowest way to charge your suit, I believe. Sorry, just had to take a sip of cold drink there. My throat was getting knackered. Once that's out, you should be able to reach your beacon. Grind that down just below the red line again and weld it back up. I've learned that. In the right bottom corner is a small cargo container. Same thing. Grind it down. Yeah, just almost all way. That. And in the middle is a small conveyor tube. Remove that completely. If you go into your G menu, you'll notice that you have unlocked a lot of new cubes by just getting that cargo container. If we check progression on the G menu, where's that cargo container gone to? There it is. These blocks are important. These are all conveyor blocks. These blocks connect different inventory blocks like cargo containers and active blocks like refineries and assemblers together. On small grids you get 2 different versions, a big one and a small one. Now we want to queue 8 of these small ones. We can only queue 7 now, but we will need an extra one later. Now we can run over to... missed it. Run over here and just queue it by shift middle mouse button. It will now start producing all the items we need for this. We might need to start getting more stone soon. Another like 5 to 10 loads of stone would be good. We won't be doing that there. You can go ahead and place this small conveyor junction in the middle. You should have the materials on you to weld this up. Go ahead and do that now. Then the next item in your G menu from the progression is a medium container. Now the medium container you can only get in small grid. You can also pick the block from here. So with 6, scroll, that's a large, that's the one. You see it's only got the 4 connector ports on it, the small ones and the big ones. Line the block up as it is and point it directly at the conveyor junction you just placed, the small one in the back in the middle. That will place the block right there. The reason we cut out those blocks is so that we can actually gain access to the inside of those connectors and manually place items in and out of it when we want to use it for cargo. You can go ahead and weld that up the moment all your blocks are queued. I just quickly want to interrupt by adding the battery into the top of the power tower that we will need. The reason we added those is for support struts so that we can get in here to place the battery. Placing the battery with 4 like that, and then tag in the items for the battery. You will run a couple of times to do everything for the battery because the power cells take up all your inventory space. So once that is in place, any excess power that is being produced by your wind turbines will now be charging the battery at the base of the tower. Okay, next item on the list, G menu. We have a couple more to pull out here. That was everything. Now we need to queue 1 more of these small ones and a medium cargo container, which is over there, and queue those items. Thank you. While that's busy, we can weld in what we need over here, and then just go grind up some more stone. Oh well, go drill some more stone quickly while that's being produced. Can you struggle more to get up on a thing? Speaking of, let's just fucking do this. Right there. Thank you. Okay. That's all in. Withdraw the items we need. And now, go weld up your cargo container. Okay. That's all welded up nicely. Now, you take the small cargo conveyor, and place the remaining 7 of them. Yes, like that. So 1 in the middle and 3 to each side of it, and then you can go ahead and weld these up as well. Okay, now that all of those are in place, you want to remove that particular block. That one's going to fall, and then remove that one as well. Oh, I think I might have nicked one of those blocks. No, I didn't. Okay, that is very, very awesome. That's important for later on. Now, is the gyros not available yet? That will be now. We need to place a cockpit. The cockpit in your progression menu is down here. That will give us access to, we have access to the drill, but all the other tools that fit on the stations, big ships and small ships, as well as missiles. Yeah, destruction. But for now, we're going to focus on that particular one you see there. And just make sure it's a small grid and queue it as well. Just want to remove that is unnecessary, as well as those are unnecessary now. Speaking of which, I also want to place the conveyor junctions in where I usually use them, because between conveyor junctions and big steel blocks, I use them the most, so they are on every tab. Like that. Okay, that's not the one we want. We want that we are going to place over there. Now we need to go queue this over there. While that is busy, you can go and get more stone. Like I said earlier on, about 5 to 10 more loads will be more than sufficient. I've only done like 1 and a bit. Ooh, I completely forgot about one item we needed to remove before we got started. Was down in the bottom, there's a thruster right there. We need to remove that, because that has the components for the top thrusters in there. We need to get in there and cut it out. It would have been a lot easier if I remembered about that earlier. But unfortunately, me being me, I didn't. Okay, we've got everything to weld up that front canopy with, but before we do, we quickly want to see if I can get in there to weld it up, not to grind it off.
Energy critical.
Nope, we cannot. Quickly weld this up with the rest of my power that I've got left, and then I can get inside by pressing F. Because it's hooked up to everything else, it will automatically start refilling my oxygen, because this is an oxygen-rich environment and a very calming feeling. From here we can reset everything and name it as well as we could from the other seat, but this one's sealed off nice. Starting to look like a real nice compact vessel we've got here, eh? Now, I can't really get into the bottom with the conventional ways that I thought I would be able to. So I either need to cut or drill. I think we are somewhere gonna drill in here for a bit. 3. Go and crunch down here. Right click, drill. Just clear it out a bit. Just like this, we can get in. 2. Remove that. That does not belong there. Nice. Okay. I got a bit of a dip there, but it's okay. I don't really like it, but it's okay. It's okay. We need to deal with it. Next on our list, we need to add 2 drills to this machine and add the thrusters back over here. Move the ore detector, that, and the antenna over and add the top thrusters in as well. To do that, we need to check our progression, which items are next on our list. I believe the antenna will be, as well as the ore detector. Then, yes, there's the ore detector, and the drill should be available as well. I think the thrusters are available. I'm not sure. Need to double check that quickly. Where are the thrusters on this list? Am I missing them? Where's thrusters? Thrusters! You people are probably shouting it, but I can't see the thrusters in this list because I don't take the time to look at all the pictures. I just screen them quickly. I thought it would have been in here. Never mind. Found them. We need atmospheric thrusters, small ones, small grid. We need to do 4 of them. Bear in mind that you will not be able to produce all the components for them, seeing as the metal grid is only from cobalt, and cobalt does not come from stone. But you have 4 extra from that thruster that I forgot to grind down in the beginning of this entire build. So remember, if you're following this, just do that beforehand. It's best when you do the beacon and the small cargo container. Yes, it's best to do it then. Now on top of here, we want to remove that black block, that blue block, and that blue block back there. We also want to remove this one and the 2 behind that. Likewise with the back and with these. You can remove that, the ore detector, as well as the small antenna. Right there. Come on, out. Replace these blocks with the same color blocks B and make sure it's square. And weld those black up like so. That is beautiful, is it not? And you go to 4, select your thrusters, make sure the black of the thrusters pointing to the outside of the ship. Otherwise you will have block damage and they will start destroying one another. That is good. Okay. Now we can add in our antenna and our ore detector. Doesn't matter which way you place them, as long as they're up there somewhere. And 6. Like that. You can weld those in immediately. By now your thrusters should be done. Let's go have a look if they are. Yes, everything's done. We just can't get the metal grids, so clear them out. And then add your drills. Make sure, again, it's small grids. And just add them in the queue. Go ahead and weld these into place. Like so. And the moment that's in place, just quickly hop into the cabin, press K for the menu, select the new ones, turn them off, and turn them off in the terminal as well. That's important for later. take a note. Write that down somewhere. The reason we moved the antenna and the ore detector again is to create a lower profile for drilling. Let's see if we can get all the materials for the drills. Yes, we can. Now we can go place the drills will be under here. Yep. You can pick the color you want to place. You make the drill, but I prefer my drill to be the same color as my cap, and just aim for the outside block there and there, and then you can weld it in place. There you've got your small drill ship. We will later be adding 2 sorters and 2 ejectors to this, and you can still access your storage there on the inside. Very clever, hey? You don't need to put lights on there, because if you have your suit's lights on and you get in the vessel, you have lights, see? If you put your suit lights off and get into the vessel, there's no lights, but you can't turn them on now. You need to turn them on before you get into the vessel. And there you have it. We need to add a connector to the rear of this and still 1 gyro. So we can go ahead and queue those items as well. 1 gyro, small block coming up, and then 1 connector, small block coming up as well. Let's quickly queue them, and while they're busy, I'm gonna go run down and collect some more stone. Well, we place them in there as well, and that means everything is done. Run back to your ship. I usually place my gyro here in the bottom. Shift P to select color for a block. Didn't mention that earlier on. And then you can just get in here in the bottom and don't stand up, just change the view. See exactly where you want to place this block. I would like to place it there. Easy access for later on. This I'm gonna leave as is for now. I am, however, gonna fill that up with a solid block and a solid block right there. Hold them in place. And you should have more than enough for these extra blocks because of all the blocks you removed on top. Okay. Now that is in place as well. On top, 1 more block I want to add in. 9, Shift B, right there. Make that a solid neck. Okay, this ship is not done yet. We need the connector on the back. B, that's not the connector. That's an ejector. This is a connector. This is what we want. Let's add this to the back. Now, our ship will be able to charge. But to charge our ship, we need the same type of connector on our base. And let's make sure that connector runs through all the rest of the inventories so that it can connect back to here, so that we can just park it, charge it, and drop everything off in one go. And refuel or do everything we need to. So I'm going to place a small cargo container right on this block. However, I don't have the cobalt for that yet. I need to remove this block right there, and that block right there goes out. We don't need them right now. I need the... we can cancel all of those blocks. Oxygen generator from here and the oxygen farm. Back on the ship, we can quickly grind down the oxygen generator that's here. Just remove the ice from it and grind it down to below the functional level and weld it back up. So you learned it. Dump the ice back in the container. Why do we have 2 extra? Oh, I forgot. You still need to add the 2 thrusters that you removed from the front. Where's the thrusters at? They should be over here. Give me the small one, Shift B, and that goes over here. One this side, and then one on the opposite side as well. If you didn't dump your inventory, you should still have this in your inventories, like that. We're going to upgrade all of these thrusters with bigger thrusters later on, so that we can have a heavier haul. Because right now, it will not be able to take off if it's fully loaded. It's a light vessel, but it gets the small job done. And you will be able to upgrade it before the end of the first week. Now, if we have a look at our G menu after doing the O2 generator, we'll have a tank and a vent as well. We need to queue a O2 generator, a vent, a oxygen tank, and a oxygen farm for this base. Go ahead and queue. Never mind. Don't queue those items now, because I made a mistake, critical mistake. This block needs to be a large block, not a small block, and queue it. Same as with this block, needs to be a large block, and queue it. And that, queue, and that, queue. Yes, that's correct. I do make the mistake often enough to not double check those things, and then I queue the wrong items and then not have enough materials for my builds. I know that does happen from time to time. While those are busy, it's going to take a while, and if I'm correct, it's going to need more stone, like in now. We can move all of these into the same queues, just to make sure that it is doing exactly what we want it to do, and we know how much of what we want. There we go. We can double check. We have 37 in reserve already, so we don't need it. The same with actually just the motors. But we need more stone, and that is because I still have 7 loads to do of that original 10 that I promised. Okay, once you have most of your components, you can start placing your items. The oxygen generator, I want to place it this way, but flip it upside down. There we go. This is the orientation I need. Yeah, this is right. This is where we place it. Just like that. Okay. Then you can tag in some of the items and weld it up as well. Yeah, tag it, weld it. Then tag that in. I'll collect more of them. You need to remove this block
Inventory
right
full.
there. Full inventory. Bad idea. We're gonna place the vent up there. Just make sure that it has a connector on its back, that it is facing that one. Like that, and then you can go weld it up as well. Preferably don't use your jetpack for this. You can walk around and up and go do it. It should be better doing it that way actually. Then on top of all of these items, I want to place my O2 tank from number 6 right there, and the farm right on top of that, like so. That's why our tower is that high, so that the farm doesn't interfere with the block on top of that. Here we will need to close up with another block. I was suggesting we're going to use one of, where are those decorative blocks? This. One of the catwalk blocks. Steel catwalks. That should work up there to close it. You can place another block up, but it should just be fine with that. I can place an antenna later on. No, I can't. The antenna won't seal it up. Never mind, scratch the last. Antenna was a dumb idea. Okay, pick up the rest of the materials and go weld them in. So once you've added in the oxygen tank and the oxygen farm on top of the oxygen generator next to the oxygen vent, you can go into the G menu and clear your bar at the bottom. Next, we're going to need is one of the conveyor tubes. One of them. One tube. We are going to need one junction as well, and another connector. This time make sure it's a large grid connector. Those are the items we need, and you can go and queue them. While those items are actually busy grinding up, I want to do this before we connect all of that up there. Just kill that. Get into your ship, press K. We need to name this ship something. It's in the info tab. I'm just gonna call it Res Pod. POD, like that. Res Pod. That's good. Okay. Control copy. Then in the control panel, we can start naming all these items. Drill space 1, those two we add into a control group here. Drills. And we call them rest pod, so that we know when this grid is connected to the next grid that these drills belong to the ship when we are in the menu, and you can hide them as well. The same with the antenna, you can cancel that and add that to the back. I just want to add that and copy the new name for me. That's bad, I fucked up. Change that, save that, delete that. Okay, that's good. Now the antenna is named, it is broadcasting, you can put that out of the terminal. Same as with these two atmospheric thrusters, you can turn them off and out of the terminal. The battery you can name as well. Don't put it out of the terminal. Beacon, name it, put it out of the terminal. Cockpit, name it, out of the terminal. Connector, name it, out of the terminal. Gyroscope, name it, out of the terminal. Medium container, just out of the terminal. Oxygen generator, also important, then out of the terminal. Not really important, but you can. Before putting it out of the terminal, make sure that it's there, and it's not out of terminal, just switching it off, so you don't see it. To see it, you just click on the eye, and there they all are. Small cargo container, switch that off, and the survival kit gets a name, and then switch that out of the terminal as well. Parachute hatch just out. That's all you want to see currently in there. Then take all your atmospheric thrusters, put that in a group thrusters, and then the type of thruster is atmospheric, and then the vessel it belongs to, and those are off and off. That's all good. You can turn that back to there. And in the cockpit, just press G to access the cockpit's G menu. Down in groups, you will find the groups you've added. Go to thrusters, add that into 9, put it on toggle on and off. Or next one is by block tools. Just right click the drills into the first tab, then switch to all blocks. You're looking for your battery that goes into slot number 7. Put it on recharge on and off. Next block will be your connector in slot number 5, and that is for switch lock. That is everything you need for this vessel to fly, with normal, standard, easy controls. There we go. Okay, now everything should be built in here. Retrieve your items. Why don't we have everything yet? What are we lacking? Why are we lacking that? Because of steel. I need more stone. Sorry, I will be back shortly. Okay, now that I have finally built all those items, we can go ahead and place the blocks that we want. Where did I put them? It was supposed to be in here. Was it in there? In there? In there? Nope. I didn't queue them. Why didn't I do that? I queued them here, just not in the build queue where I want them. We just need the connector. That is a bit lower on the list. It's over there. From this, we need a junction. We put a junction right there and weld it in. Then take a pipe next by scrolling through the menus. You get a pipe, place the tube there. Then with 4 you have that. Ooh. And just switch that around till you get, yeah, I want that orientation up there. In there and weld it up. Let's go weld. There we go. That's all up. Now, all that remains is for us to park that vessel on that parking spot, dock it, and it will start charging. The moment it is charged, we can go out searching for ores. Great idea. That is for episode 2. Now, to fly this vessel, because we've programmed everything and put it into place where we want it, we can just activate all the thrusters by pressing 9. By pressing P, you will unlock all the landing gears, and then we can fly it about. By V, changing the view, Alt, switch it out a bit, and fly into where you want to, switch, back it up. Right there. Put down, put in, put like that. There we go. Park it. Now it's one grid. Switch off your thrusters, switch over your battery to recharge, and then press K. In your menu, you'll notice your battery has 3 minutes to a full charge. So 3 minutes from now, you can start exploring and finish up this base. First of all, to finish up this base, count out your squares. This is a 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 by 6 area minus 1. Add those cubes into your build menu, or just manually add all the items that you need for them in here. So go ahead and queue everything you want to build next for your base. But I need to queue up 1,000 steel plates, 1,000 interior plates, and 1,000 components. These will be needed in the next couple of episodes, just for the building of the base, closing this up. Now we can take number 3 while that's busy charging, and just close up the roof here by placing those in, and this on this side like that, switching it over to this one, placing that in there. Should form in very nicely for all of us. That's actually good. We can actually do the same with this row. Move this row. I know, I don't practice what I preach with the no-fly thing. There we go. Now the roof is basically complete. The only thing that we still need to do is place that flat catwalk, that one, on top. Then we can just weld in everything we need later on. Take the catwalk, the one we want, that, and place it. The moment you weld this into space, it will seal up very nicely. Very nicely. And we have a nice lookout over our area as well. So this has been phenomenal. So with all of that being done, that brings us to the end of our first episode. It has really been nice having you guys. If you guys like this video, hit the thumbs up at the bottom, subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any ideas or want to point out anything I've missed or made a mistake on. Please feel free to do so, and tune in for the next episode where we go exploring and seeing what all these white spots on this red planet is, or most of them actually around my base is. Cheers, ciao, and tot ziens. This is Deathwing signing off. Enjoy it, guys.